Hello my friends, and welcome to the channel for another Escape from Tarkov video. Among all of the weapons in Tarkov that I always wanted to be great, but never quite lived up to my expectations, the one that always stands out to me is the MCX. For a long time, it was the poster child for untapped potential, boasting a slick aesthetic and the potential for almost uncontested damage per second compared to other assault rifles in Tarkov. But she kicked like a horse that didn't want you to ride it every time you pulled the trigger. That's not to say the MCX was ever a bad gun per se. In point-blank hipfire duels, it was always hard to beat. But past 20 meters, it was pretty hit or miss, pun intended. It was the kind of gun that you ran for fun once a week or so, and then went back to the M4 because it actually shot straight. So wasn't I a happy camper when I took an MCX out for a spin for the first time this wipe, pulled the trigger, and felt the blessings of the recoil rework smile upon me. To my surprise, it didn't just feel good to shoot, it felt great to shoot, and I knew the MCX was back on the menu for sure. In this video, I'll be covering my standard build, mostly taking parts from level 3 traders to put together a very effective and reasonably priced rifle that loads a ton of firepower into a small, relatively lightweight package. After covering the build, I've got some gameplay from my first good raids with the MCX this wipe, where I took it out to Streets of Tarkov and laid waste to some PMCs and an unwitting crew of player scavs. To get started, I tend to just buy my MCX off of the flea market. It has a pretty stable price on there of around 50 to 60,000 rubles, which is much cheaper than getting it from the traders. When you go to buy an MCX, I recommend that you make sure it has the 229mm barrel, and that it also has the T-lock muzzle adapter and the 2-port muzzle brake. These are default parts on the MCX and are both used in my build, so I always double check before I buy it on the market. The suppressor that you want to run on the MCX is the SIG SRD QD762 suppressor, which slots right onto the muzzle brake. This suppressor is conveniently available as a barter trade for one Raven statue at skier level 3, or on the market for about 50,000 rubles. For the handguard, with the changes to recoil, I honestly don't really know if it's worth it to add on the extended handguard anymore. It does lower recoil slightly, but it also cuts your ergonomics by about 3 points. It's not necessarily a bad choice, but on my builds, I've been sticking with the default short handguard for the extra ergonomics. You need a pair of key mod rails to add attachments onto this thing, and then I've been using the Magpul RVG foregrip and my trusty companion, the X400 flashlight. You can't really beat the RVG grip for stats without paying double or triple the price, so I pretty much use this on everything now. Next, I swap out the pistol grip for the F1 skeletonized pistol grip, and then I add on the MCX retractable stock adapter onto the build as well. For the buffer tube, I'm using the SI advanced buffer tube on my setup. If you don't have this unlocked though, you want to use the RTM ATP buffer tube from skier level 2 instead. For the stock on my builds, I've just been running the Chris DS150 stock because it has a great balance of ergonomics and recoil for a really cheap price compared to other stocks that don't even really add anything. When it comes to optics on the MCX, I think red dot and holographic sights tend to work the best since it's not amazing at long range anyways. I've been running it with the Elcan Spectre HCO holographic sight, and I really like this thing. It has a great sight picture and a nice clean reticle. When it's all put together, this build costs about 150 to 160,000 rubles, and in my opinion, it's well worth the price. I've been running it with a mix of CBJ ammo from level 4 Peacekeeper and M62 ammo that I craft at the workbench, and it's worked quite well for me in PvP so far. For the rest of this video, I've got some footage from raids on Streets of Tarkov so you can see this thing in action. I had some nice fights with this thing, and it worked really well in the tight corridors of all of the buildings that you need to go to for quests and loot. What do you think of the MCX? Let me know down in the comments if you've been enjoying it this wipe, and tell me what you think of my build. Thanks for checking out the video. I've got a link to my Twitch channel in the description if you want to come check out some of my Tarkov gameplay live. And until next time, stay safe in Tarkov City. Honestly, I would say Zemaisky apartment 20. I don't think that's really a great key, but whatever, it's a key. I'd say that this holosite is actually becoming my favorite. No, I was not on labs. I've been playing Streets all day. And that was, I want to say 69% luck right there. At least.
Yes.
That was skill right there. That first kill was luck. That one was skill. Yeah, I also agree with that. Night Streets is much nicer. The negotiation room with a fucking butcher knife on the table. I've been watching The Sopranos, so I think I know what kind of negotiations they're doing in here. Ah, fuck. Oh God. I think I got him. I think I heard his body fall. But we're just gonna lock ourselves in here and figure out how much fucking damage I just took. You know what I'm gonna do? Just grab myself a new plate. Oh, that's pretty cool looking 103. Is that a thermal? That's the thermal reflex, isn't it? Did he see me? This is how the rats do it, boys. Fuck. Hey, got him. Okay, back to looking for the key. On the desk with the umbrella.